Tests, tests. Oh, okay. I do hear sound now, but my mic is still not working. Oh wait, is it? Oh, finally. Okay, so I had to update my system. I updated OBS, and first of all, my display manager did not work. So I don't know what exactly is happening right now, but there are a lot of things kind of going wrong right now on my system, which is new. Let's see. Do I have anything open that should not be open? Okay. So, welcome to 2026, where apparently nothing works. Yo. Let's. Oh, whoopsie. What am I doing this time? Okay, so I hope that all my shortcuts are still working. But yeah, anyway, welcome to 2026, and stream title is Let's Learn. Learning Zig, because I want to learn a new language this year, and I chose Zig because it can also interact easily with C libraries, which will be helpful for the project that I have planned to like test if I really know this language or not. But because then, by the way, let's quickly go over to my screen. I am trying to build the 0.5.0 alpha release right now, but there are a couple of issues. But first of all, the last alpha has been since July, so August, September, October, November, December. It's been almost 6 months since the last alpha version, and a lot has changed. So I first quickly want to go over all of those changes, and why am I not sharing my screen yet? Okay, so um, we have market. Wait, I should just open the project, I guess. Um, yeah, let's open the project. So a lot has changed. The whole timeline has changed to the draw system instead of using a node-based system. The only thing that I have not implemented yet, and I just realized that when I tried to edit the video a little bit earlier with Kozen, I don't have a way to like resize, to change the fading from the timeline. So yeah, um, UI is a little bit on the oh. Okay, let's ignore that error. Normally that should work. But anyway, like this, let's quickly put the UI a little bit bigger, because that's also a possibility now. Like you can change the scale of the UI. Normally this should work. Hmm. Okay, that's the thing that I need to look into. But you can move clips, you can scroll through clips if you have two clips on top of each other. Normally the playback is slow, but you can right click and uh, item clip only video. So this clip will have its separate like video instance, making like playback and seeking smooth. But yeah, anyway, this what I've been working on. There are a lot of translations, localization stuff not working. And if I go in here, I can add markers. So let's. There are issues. There are still issues. Oh well. Anyway, let's go over to the main topic of today's stream. Ziglings. Ziglings. The way that I'm planning on learning Zig is by using this repo. So let's quickly remove this. It's basically a kind of like kind of all small exercises to learn the language. I've done a couple of them already, but I reset the repo because I want to go through everything again, because I went through it at the beginning of last year, but at the beginning of last year, at the end of last year, but because of all the things happening and suddenly being very focused on GD equals N. Also, GD equals N, the video playback add-on for Godot, is having an update very soon. I just need to check if it actually works. But yeah, let's go over to the correct tree. Oh, well, tags, I think they only work with tags instead of branches. So let's go to the 0.15.1 tag. And normally this should work. Okay, so inside of here we have a folder. Let's make the screen a little bit bigger. Exercises, and here are all the exercises. So first, hello world, and it goes all the way. I did see that there's async stuff in here, but async got removed because Zig, as nice as it is to work with, yeah, it's also still in alpha, and features are still being removed and added, removed and added. So yeah, there are around 100 exercises minus the async one. So let's see how long this takes. But first, hello.zig. This will basically be kind of like advent of code, I guess. I did set a goal if I receive 5 super chats that I would yeah, finish this entire, like, the 100 exercises of Siglings in one stream. I know I'm not going to get those super chats, so I'm safe. But yeah, anyway, so a function is made public with the pub statement. So to make a public function, you just add pub, and I think that's all I need to do because the main function needs to be public. So then I just do zig builds, and I passed hello world. So up to the next one. So the std, for the people who know C++, std, the standard library. The way that you import things in Zig is by making a const variable. So let's call this std. So you can import things. Using namespaces is not a thing. You need to basically import libraries as a kind of const variable, which I kind of like. Like, if I want to, by example, work with OpenGL, I can just have my OpenGL and then my clad over here. So it does feel easy to work with. The only thing that I am not a big fan of, after, like, when printing, you need to do this. But I also learned that Zig, this whole like debug.print, you should not really use in like release builds. So yeah, that's something I still need to figure out how to do. Anyway, this one is complete. We pass the standard library. So let's go over to assignments. And here is where I started running into troubles the first time when I went through this. So we have a const variables, same like in every other language. They cannot be changed. Then you have the U8, and there's something like Q8, 16, 32, 64. Then for some reason 80, or I think you can just type in any number that you want. But yeah, unsigned cannot be negative, and the signed can be negative, and yeah, and so on and so on. So there are mistakes in here that we need to try and check, and that's basically most of these things. So I by 1, 2, 3, that's 400, 314,000. So I think that's 32. We're trying to change this variable n, which is not possible. So do I make this into a, is it far? Yeah. Like, in a strange way, like if you look past the curly braces and columns at the end of the lines, it does look surprisingly a lot like static typing with Godot. I kind of like the syntax, and I think that's probably also why it feels more comfortable to use. Like, so same names as Rust, I guess. I have not used Rust enough to like know, but the Rust syntax for me, I feel like it's too big of a pain to learn. Yeah. And this cannot be unsigned. So I think this is it. Yeah, okay. Up to arrays. Boom, 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 boom. So let's learn. Arrays are declared with So the amount, so the brackets are to say that it's an array, that the type and inside is a number unless we define at compile time. For the size, you can also let sig infer the type of the value, so the declaration is much less verbose. Okay, so here we don't even do like, we don't even do this here. A const bar foo, which will get values. Okay, so basically same like Godot, same like any other language. And so then, yeah. Okay. What language have you previously worked with? I have worked with, well, C++. I think at this point I can say that I know C++. I've contributed to the Godot engine, and I'm making a video editor with Godot GD script, so that's another language. I do know a fair amount of Python, but I must admit, more of like the advanced things to do with Python, I don't really know. So Python, C++. I don't think I can count C at this point. It's way too rusty, and Rust not at all. Like I try to learn it, and not for me. What other languages do I know? I know a little bit of Lua, but I'm not too big of a fan of that one. But yeah, the ones that I mainly use are C++ and GD scripts. I also do I also have done a fair bit amount of Java. I like Java and I don't like Java, but I think that's kind of what most Java developers think. So now, how are you liking Zig? What aspects pulled you into learning it? Basically, the whole import system that you can import C libraries. I like to make little projects with OpenGL, and for that you need to OpenGL libraries and declare things. And the fact that you can just import C libraries into Zig just sounds very interesting. Also, just the syntax and the fact that they're trying to keep the language like minimal kind of interests me. And also just like the way that things are written, it's very similar to the GD script, so it's less of a struggle to learn it. Yeah, I for the amount of times that I have used Zig in the past couple of weeks, I like the language. I do hope we get a stable version soon, so I don't have to relearn things. But yeah, it's fun. Well, that's also why I chose it to like as the language to learn and to like, use in 2026. So this concept is going to cause a problem later. You can see what it is. How do you fix this? It's going to call because we are changing a variable. Nice of you. Good luck, bro, in learning Zig. Thank you. Do you know Zig by any chance? Like, are you a how are people called who use Zig? Zigling? And wait, am I? I am sharing my screen, right? Yeah. I tend to forget to share my screen. Individual values can be set with okay, individual can also be accessed with yes. We need to get the 4, so that's 3. And we need to get the length, so that's len. And is that a function to use len? Nope. So this is enough to get okay. I hope that's correct. Arrays passed. Arrays 2. So Zig has some fun array operators. Also, no operator overloading. That's something I like as well. I just like how minimal the language is. It feels like a language people can learn in like a good week of using the language, and they're up and running. It's not like C++, like, okay, so you know this part, how about all of the other things that you still need to learn? I saw it on my PC, but haven't worked with it because I was learning Go. I feel like a lot of people who are like wanting to learn Go also want to learn Zig, and people who are learning Zig also want to learn Go. Like, Go is also a language that I'm kind of interested in, except for the function naming. I don't understand why they went with the naming scheme of functions that you need to use, like, capital letters. Why? Um, so I mostly work with Kotlin, Dart, and TypeScript for React. Kotlin was one of the first languages that I like tried to learn properly, but after learning it, I never used it because I could never find like a good use case for it. Please set this array to. So I guess that's just lee plus plus et. And now I need to do, whoops. And I guess that's it. And then it's just some, yeah, Zig builds. Pasts. Oh. And now up to the most fun part of any language, strings. Yeah, nicely, but I also hate capital letters. It does not make sense. Like, why? I am very particular about like how I name stuff, like my functions and my variables, and being forced into a specific way of like typing functions. It's something I really don't like. Like for const variables, normally I will tweet all capital. That's like one of the things that I always do, so I know when I'm using it later in codes that is a const variable. But of what I understand, like most things in Zig are const by default. I can be wrong about that. So Zig stores strings as array of bytes. So basically like any other language. So it's basically like this. We'll see what Zig strings really are in exercise 77. Well, only 71 left to go. I really do like these exercises. I like these Ziglinks exercises. This is like one of the best ways to get into a programming language. Just throw you in the language and try to figure out mistakes whilst having like some amount of documentation of what you're supposed to learn from the exercise. Use array square bracket syntax to get the letter D. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Use the array repeats to make, okay. So even though you type it as a string, it will always kind of treat it as an array. So I can do this. Problem 3, use the array concatenation plus plus to make major Tom. So this is rather easy. It just tells you what to do. You'll need to you need to add a space as well. Luckily, I'm someone who reads documentation. Oh, whoops. So that one is complete. Strings 2. So here's a fun one. Zig has multi-line strings. Yeah, this is something I really like as well. The fact that you can do this. Oh. Oh, right, no, all the way. Oh. Wait, where's my... Okay. So using the other slash, you create a multi-string. That's also such a nice feature. Like in Python, you can also do that, but then you have like the whole like tab spaces and such, which always make me wonder like where does it actually start? Because I don't want to have like, I don't want to put my code all the way to the beginning, like the text all the way to the beginning, because then it just messes up. Yeah, no. I prefer this way of doing it. I don't think you can do this, no. So you'll always have like this thing hanging around here. That's like, yeah, ma, shanai. So I should pause that. Yep. And let's go to 8. Quiz time. Let's see if you can fix this whole program. You'll have to think about this one a bit. Let the compiler tell you what's wrong. Start at the top. Yeah, that's another thing. If you like, if I were to just compile it, like try to run this, it will tell me where the mistakes are. I really like the compiler. Boom, 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 boom. So, expected type expression found. Okay, so there's just a. Okay, over here. What do we need to do? What do we need to do? So, what is this nonsense? So, use size is use for sizes. The exact size of use size depends on the target CPU architecture. Be cool to have the yeah, let's just delete this to make this a little bit clearer to look at. Note when you want to declare memory in an array, you can set it to undefined. So you declare memory, but you're not using it yet. So this is like another part that I have trouble with understanding, like the whole undefined versus null. Oh well, problem for later. The following lines attempt to put Z, I, and G into okay, so I guess this is just X. We need to get the Z, I, so that is and then the G. So now I want to test something. Can I do -1? Because this is basically like the G is -1. Is this possible? Oh, whoops. Okay, so type usize cannot represent integer value -1. Okay. What I can do, I think, is letters.len. -1. Okay. Hey, guy. So, up to the next one. So we are at the if statements, and this is also just very similar to any other language. So, but what I do know with the whole if statements, you can there's like this. Why not Odin? I think there was a reason. Like, wait, let's quickly pull up the syntax. So like I think it was just the syntax which was kind of throwing me off with using like the columns and such. Like there are a couple of reasons why I went for Zig. First of all, being able to use C libraries without any odd like well basically just being able to use C libraries without any like extra work that you need to do. You can just import it, add it as a variable, and like for example OpenGL, and it works. And just it's a minimal language, and I kind of was interested. Well, I named some of the reasons before. Why not Odin? It's mainly the syntax. I just feel like the way that Zig is written, it feels clean. It feels like familiar. It feels familiar to me with the language that I already know. I have thought about going for Odin, but yeah, I feel like the biggest reason why I went for Zig is because it still keeps me somewhat able to easily use C libraries. And that's basically it. I think that's like the, if I need to name one reason, it's probably that feature. Um, we want the program to print this message. Um, Zig has usual comparison parameters such as, the important thing about Zig only accepts Boolean values. So I just need to do this. Also, error handling in Zig is something I really like. And the whole defer. Like if you allocate some memory, being able to do defer after creating the variable, so it actually goes away the memory after the function ends, that's something I really like as well. I can take some code quickly. Whoops. Like if I go into GD equals n and I go into my video class, by example, there's a lot of the time that I need to add close to every return statement, every single one. And yes, there is something like the whole go to thing. I don't want to like have these go tos everywhere. Just having like one defer, like if we end the function, just run close. I like return defer on error. Like there are two types of defer. So you have defer and error defer, which just feels so nice to have. Um, did I delete something here? If statements are also valid expressions. Okay, so please use an if else expression to set price. The price should be 17. If I should probably do if this counts, then it's 17, else 20. Yep. The while statements. While condition is false. Remember that the condition must be a boolean value and that you can get a boolean value from conditional operators. So we have the equals, less, bigger, and then not equal. Please use a condition that is true until n reaches until n is not equal to 1 to 4, I guess. Yep. Well, 2. The continue expression. So do something with even numbers or less. This is basically like the whole like for like the for loop stuff in C++, I guess. So while condition continue expression, wait, which runs every time the while loop continues. So this will only run at the end of the while loop. Or when continue is invoked, yeah. So please set the continue expression so that we get the desired result. We want this to result in 1024. So I guess n times 2. Yep. Oh. So while 2 finished, while 3. And the last two exercises were functionally identical. Continue expressions really show their utility when used with continuous statements. while condition continue expression if other condition continue. Okay, so if you want to print every number between 1 and 20 that is not divisible by 3 or 5, so I guess just continue. Yep. And the last while loop. You can force the loop to exit immediately with a break statement. So, this while loop goes on forever. Please fix it so the print statement below gives the desired output. We want for. If n equals 4, then we break. And passed. Up to the for loops. Okay, so we have for loops. Behold the for loop. For loops let you execute code for each element of an array. Oh, yeah. So I add story in here and then yep. For loops also let you use the index of the iterator. Ah. So so we have the bit, I guess value? No. Value type is not indexable and not in range. Okay. So we start from 0 and we go further, I guess. Yep. Okay, quiz 2. This will be an add imports std. This will be a pub event main function. This is a for loop. This will be a line like, no, it's a while loop. It's a while loop. Okay, and then we need to print, I guess, and we passed. Okay, next one. We're already at 18. Okay, this is going a lot faster than I thought it would. So I think I might be able to finish this in the time I have. So I've been streaming for how long now? 38 minutes. Okay. I was right there for a second. So wait, my audio is still working? Like, I don't have my applet right now, so... Yep. Okay, here as well. 4 viewers. How do I have 4 viewers on Twitch and nobody is talking? Okay, live streaming. On here we have 6 viewers. That's something I found out about streaming. There are always going to be a lot of people like in the backgrounds. Okay, functions. We've already created lots of functions called main. Now let's do something different. So the non-public functions, they're private by default, not const by private by default. Func, and we return a U8. Oh, whoops. Was going to GD script. So event deep.u8. I think this should be correct. Yep. And then for like, it can also be an error with yeah. Let's see. Like, I know that we can like return errors as well with this. Like, it can or be this or it can be an error. So now let's create a function that takes a parameter. Here's an example that takes two parameters. As you can see, the parameters are declared. It's just like any other types, name, type. Yeah, so this is also very similar to GD scripts. So my number, and I guess that's also a U32. Yep. And the next quiz. And let's see if we can use, okay, so quiz. So I have my numbers, print powers of 2, pass my numbers. Over here, this will return a, a void. It only prints stuff. Binary operator has white space on one side, but not on the other. This will return a U16. A loop. Wait, shouldn't that be like a for loop? No, no, no. Again, no. This is while loop, and the other one is for loop. And then in here, return total. Past. Okay, now the error handling. This is something that I kind of like, and the more I was like learning about SIG, the more I felt like, what if GD script would have this type of error handling? And believe it or not, sometimes things go wrong in programs. No shits. In Zig, an error is a value. Errors are named so we can identify things. There's another thing. Const stuff, these kind of things, I would make capital by default. We have to start an error set between missing condition too small. So if number error is my number error too small, so we're still only returning voids, so we don't have let's see, past errors to my number. This will probably be a U8, but wait. Oh, explanation mark. So first is the error that can happen. So it can be a my number error or a U8. So if you don't get a U8, it will probably be an error. Okay. Error 3. The whole catch. This all happens in one line. So add 20. If it's lower than 5, it will be returning an error too small. And to make it return the error, we do my number error, explanation mark, and else it returns a U32, I think, with this one. Yeah, it should return a U32. So this is the whole catch things. So if this is happening, it will make A22 and it will make B22. Yep. As 4, so this one. So we catch, but when we catch the error, we can make it to a variable by putting those lines next to it, and then we can have a function thing after it. So we return fix to big N, but if it catches an error, then we run this function and it returns error. So if we catch an error, we need the column here, and I guess we need to use the error. Okay. Oh dear, this is missing a lot, don't worry. It's nearly identical to fix too big above. If you get too small error, we should return too small. So if error equals my number error too small, then we return 20. Does this work? Okay, so we don't need like the curly braces if there's only one thing after it. And else we return error. Okay. Wait, am I? What am I doing wrong? Oh no, we should return 10. Okay. Errors 5, the last error handling thing for now, I guess. Sig has a handy try shortcut. So we can try and then directly return the error. Add 5, detects. Wait, what should it? And this function needs to return any error which might come back from detect. So we try detects n. No, wait. We need to put try in here. Okay. Yep. Okay, hello 2. Great news. Now we know enough to understand a real hello world program in SIG. One that uses the system standard out resource, which can fail. Okay, so we get a writer for the standard out. So this is how we actually write to the, like, not the whole like printing with this. This is how we actually like print stuff out. So unlike std debug prints, the standard out writer can fail with an error. We don't care what the error is. We want to be able to pass it up as a return value of main. So I guess we do this. Yep, we do that. Okay, I'll quickly go and get more water. I'll be right back. Yeah. And I'm back, and good news, my kids are still asleep. For how long? Okay, okay, getting a drink, yeah. A fresh bottle of water. Okay, so wait, this one was successful, right? Oh, yeah, we're at the next one. So the defer thing, that's something I really like about this language. This is something I wish things like GDScript had. Without changing anything else, we want to print to later, so defer. And now that will run after the function like is trying to quit, like at the end of the function. I love this. I love this thing. Now that you know how defer works, maybe I like this feature a lot, like the whole defer thing, because of the way that I program. But I just feel like I showed an example before with the plugin that I made, like the add-on. It just feels odd to have to write the same thing over and over in case an error happens. Like the error defer, it's kind of nice. And now that you know how defer works, let's do something more interesting with it. And this function is supposed to print an animal name in parentheses like goats. So I guess we defer that one. Yep. The error defer. So this, if an error happens, we clean up or we close. Um. Okay, so this will be an add. Like I did not even think about that. Like putting print messages in case like an error happens, so we know what failed. Um. This could fail. This could also fail. Um. I could fail, but I don't. I fell after first time. I fell after the first time you run me. So I guess we got it working. Yep. And then the switch statements. This is something. This is like one of the few things that I am not 100% convinced of yet. This whole like else thing. Oh well. We don't need everything in between. Switch statements must be exhaustive. There must be a match for every possible value. So we need to add an else. Else, yep. To this, switch to print a question mark. So wait, do I need brackets or can I just do this? Yep. And then switch to. What's really nice is that now that you can use a switch statement as an expression to return a value. Oh. That is nice indeed. Yeah, we need an else thing again. So else we just do an exclamation mark. Yep. Unreachable. So Zik has an unreachable statement. Use it when you want to tell the compiler that a branch of code should never be executed and that the mere act of reaching it is an error. Um, we know there are only three operations, but Zig doesn't. Use unread. Do you use Helix? No. It's something I have heard about it. I have not, like, I have not even like seen any Helix code yet. I do know that it exists, so I just have never used it. Okay, so we need an else statement inside of here. So unreachable. Yep. Okay, let's revisit the first. Okay, there's just if error. Oh yeah, this thing. So if n, this is like, it's not a error. So we get the value from here. If it's an error, else we get the error. This is something that does kind of confuse me. Like, can't we just like leave this out and have this? Like, why do we need the value? It is a non-error value of foo. Hmm. So I guess that could be helpful for when we really need a non-error possible value. Um, please add a mass for too small here and have it print -4. Then what this is a switch statement, so we also need an else. No? This will return an. Oh no, wait. Hmm. Why don't we need an else statement inside of this switch? Hmm. Oh well. Something to learn about later. Solve this any way you like. Just be certain that the output is my num42. Um, so get number will return an error. So we catch the error. If it catches an error, we just make it 42. Nope. We also need to add, it can return an error. Nope. Wait, print, it can be a, it can return a normal error. So not a num error, it can return a normal error. But it's the main function, so we don't really need a try statement here. No, we do. Hmm. std dot error. Nope. Huh. Use of undeclared identifier error. Wait, do we need? I think we can just do this. Yeah. So if you don't know the specific type of error, we can just use the exclamation mark and that's it. Okay. Enums. Remember that little mathematical virtual machine we made using the unreachable statement? Well, there were two problems with the way that we were using OP codes. An enum is a Zig construct, and that lets you give names to numeric values. Okay, so oops. It's only a short list, so we only have ink, pow, and okay. So that works. Enums too. So enum, and we can make it specifically U8. Okay, that's nice. And then we can have an int from enum. Okay. Yeah, why do we use the ads? What, wait. Oh, blue. That would be. Oh, um, let's do color blue. Let's see. Error. Wait, why? One, eh? One, two. One, two. Oh. Wait. How does that printing work? Wait, is that it? Yeah, past. Up to structs. Being able to group values together lets us turn this into this. Wait a minute. XYZ, XYZ. So basically kind of like, okay, and it's an array basically like a vector tree. So we have a role, we have a character, character has a role, gold, and experience. Wait, where is the mistake? Health. We're trying to do health, but he does not have health, so we add health. Nope. Character is missing a... Hmm? Oh. So we add health, which is 100. Okay, now I got it. Okay. Structs 2. Structs are like one of the things that made me want to like learn C when I was trying to work with C++. Like instead of using classes, it's just using structs. I did learn that it has like a certain like composition instead of like the whole inheritance. And I do think I'm more of a person who likes composition instead of inheritance. Like I've always run into issues with inheritance because if you change one thing and the other ones don't need it, or yeah, basically you change one thing and you create problems in a lot of other different places. So yeah, that's also why I try to avoid inheritance in the video editor that I'm making. It just does not make sense most of the time. Okay, so grouping values in structs is not merely convenient. It also allows us to treat the values as a single item and storing them, passing them to functions, etc. How can we store structs in an array and doing so lets us print? Okay. So add a new character. Only 10 gold. And oh, whoops. 20 experience. And his role is a bard. Yep. Okay, and up to pointer. Something I also wish Godot would have. Right now, like I know that you can put everything into like an array to pass it by reference. But that just feels so annoying. Okay, but I also really don't like this kind of pointer to stuff. It in some cases it can be helpful, in other cases, especially when you use like separate like other libraries that other people wrote, it can be so confusing sometimes. Um. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Please make num2 equal 5 using num1 pointer. So you need to use a num1 pointer. So I think this just gets the value. So if I do this, this should work. No. Hmm. So you just do this. Oh wait, no. The type of pointer. No, we do dot star. It's not the star in front. It's this. Yep. Okay, so that's how pointers work. And okay, I prefer that compared to the older stars, like star and at and simple. This makes more sense. Pointers too. You can always make. How many people are watching right now? Like the chat feels kind of empty. 4 people, 5 people on. No, 4. Okay, just went down by 1. Okay, so it's important to note that variable pointers are different types. Given varfoo, conspar. Okay, fix this. So I just do this. Nope. Expected type U8. Okay. So for its type U8, you can always make a const pointer to a mutable value, but you cannot make a var pointer to an immutable value const. Why would you want to set a pointer to from a const to another const. Was a like was the main thing. Hmm. Do I just remove this? Hmm. Hmm. I, I'm stuck. Hmm. Expected type and founds. Do we just do this? Cannot dereference non-pointer type U8s. Wait, did I just make this into a variable? Nope. Wait, why am I stuck with this? We cannot make a var point to immutable value const. Nope. Wait, can I do this? Nope. Fix this. How? Like this? Oh. It was what was the error before? It doesn't show it anymore. Oh well, it's working now. It's working now. The tricky part is that pointers mutability var const refers to the ability to change the pointer points to, not the ability to change the value at the location. Both p1 and p2 point to constant values which cannot change. However, p2 can be changed to point to something else and p1 cannot. Okay. So please define pointer p so that it can point to either foo or bar and change the value it points to. Hmm. So I guess that's a var. Oh, whoops. Yep. Okay, now let's use pointers to do something we haven't been able to do before. Pass a value by reference to a function. Pass by reference when you want to change the points to a value, otherwise pass the value. This function should take a reference to a u8 value and sets it to 5. Ooh. So that's how we get the value. So we can get the value like that, but we can also change the value like that. Okay. Oh, whoops. That's from the pointers. I'm already at 43. I can probably finish it during the stream. As with integers, you can pass a pointer to a struct when you will wish to modify that struct. Pointers are also useful when you need to store a reference to a struct. Okay. Pointer to our struct. Okay. I need to use the question mark here to allow for a null value. So it can be null if you add okay. Please pass glorp to, okay. So easy one. Okay. And quiz 5. And another. We ban you. Elephants walking along the trails are holding hands by holding tails from. Okay, it's just okay, so we added to elephant B. Link the elephant so that each tail points to the next elephant. So let's just B and then we replace this one by C. A, B, C, and then A. Okay. Was that it? Yep. I feel like some of these are a lot simpler than others. Sometimes you know that a variable might hold a value or it might not. Zig has a neat way of expressing this idea called optionals. The question mark. So it's or a uter to integer or null. Okay. Back for a bit. Welcome back. My kids are still asleep right now. I don't know for how long. I normally my smallest kid will probably wake up in like an hour or so. He always wakes up at around like 10, 11 because he wants his milk. Kid has been demanding. Yeah. Tell me about it. My kids were extremely active this evening. To get them to fall asleep took so long. Yeah. Kids. Okay, so please threaten the result so that answer is either the integer value. Okay. So or oh, I got Blastful Pass. Optionals are a lot like error union types. So this will or sounds just like I have not gotten like I kind of want to try out Rust, but I also don't want to like try to do too many things at once again. So if it's an exclamation mark, the all like the or it's a U8 or it's an error. If it's a question mark, it's or a U8 or it's null. So question mark error, no question mark null exclamation mark error. And please threaten the results. So that answer is either the integer value from Detroit or so I catch and then 42. Can I do that? So cats can also catch for nope. Hmm. Okay, so I wait. There's a or else. Oh, that's nice. So if this returns null, then we can just add this keyword. So it's not cats, it's or else. That's nice. I always read these things like half, just so I can like try and like challenge myself a little bit. Like, does the way that it works in Zig make sense or not? Tel needs something. Zig is better than Rust. Zig is Rust without the borrow checker, more or less. Zig is readable. Zig is a lot more readable. I I understand programming enough that I can look at a programming language that I don't know and kind of understand what's going on. But with Rust, I feel like I'm trying to read Chinese. Yes, I understand the like the symbols because it's the same like Japanese, which is a language I do know. But it's in such a strange order that I just don't know what it is. That's basically how I see Rust, and I can, with probably a lot of effort, try to make out kind of what it's trying to do, but yeah. Also, like again, I have not really used Rust enough to like make like a proper like opinion about it. So for me right now, my opinion about Rust is just it's difficult. That's it. So I also don't really know in what parts it's similar. Um, wait. So optionals too. We also introduced the handy dots question mark shortcuts. Okay, so basically or else unreachable. Link the elephants so that each tail points to the other. So A points to B and B points to C. Visit is there like an obvious error here? Okay. I don't know, symbols are great to make things short. Yeah, they are. Like this, for example, instead of having so this dot question mark is basically or else unreachable. No, null. Wait, null? Unreachable. Oh yeah, no, unreachable. So then it's does it return a null then? Or does it return an error? Wait, what happens if I run this? Like where is the actual problem? Oh yeah, at tel probably. We should stop once we encounter a tel. We want something similar to what dot question mark does, but instead of ending the program, we want to exit the loop. So or else, and then we break. I guess that's it. No. Del needs something. Oh yeah, no. It can del needs to can be null, so we add a question mark here. Okay. Methods. So basically we can create add functions to structs. Is that possible in C? I know it's possible in C++, but I don't know you can add functions to structs. So this is basically kind of like a class, but then without the whole inheritance stuff, I guess. Yeah. A function that is a member of a struct is namespaced. Within the that struct's yeah. So in here we can access the same structs, like if we have variables inside, by doing foo dots and so on.
Useless_unforgivable just followed.
Oh, thanks for following. I was wondering what that sound was. On Twitch? Yeah, thanks for following. Okay, so cons bar struct. So if the first argument is an instance of the struct or point to one, then we can use the instance as the namespace instead of the type. Okay. So is there any obvious error? So we have this zap the alien with the heat ray here. So heat ray. I guess heat array dot zap. And zap takes as argument it's a heat ray. So we also need an alien. So we add alien here. No. Wait, zap. Only the alien, the heat ray we don't need. We only need the alien. The alien pointer. No. Member function expected one argument. Found two. But that. Oh, wait. No, it automatically passes that one, I guess. Nope. Okay, so if you pass that, then it automatically has the. Okay. We're getting in the territory where it gets harder for my brain to process. It's probably also because it's evening. Oh, I should probably have read this part. So bar.a equals to this. Okay. That's a helpful one to know. Okay. Methods 2. Now that we've seen how methods work, let's see how if we can help our elephants out a bit more with some elephant methods. Um, this can return null, so we need to do that. If E has tail, so first elephant, elephant. This gets the next elephant or stops. If has visited. Oh, oh, nope. Visited. And so if E dot visits, then we break. Wait a minute. No, this is wrong. So E should be the next elephants. No, if we have it, if we have a tail, we get the tail. Nope. No, we visit. True. If you have the tail, then we get the tail. No. Hmm. Consider using or else or if. No, I'm doing something wrong here. But that's the only function that we can use. If we have the tail, then we get the tail. But with the get tail, I should just not have edited that function. Okay, my fault. Next one, quiz. Quiz 6. It's already 10 o'clock, so I think I'll leave it at this quiz. I'll do this one, and I think I'll make an enter stream. How long have I been streaming right now? Boom, 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 boom. 1.5, over 1.5 hours, so good enough. Oh well, let's try to finish this one. Trunks and tails are handy things from holding hands, but now that we have tails all figured out, can you implement trunks? Okay, your elephant trunk method goes here. So gets, I need to implement the same functions. Okay, so I guess that's all I need to do. Yep. Okay, and that's it. Quiz 6 is complete. So I got half bay ziglings already, and that in like 1.5 hours. So far, I do like the language. It's still a little bit of figuring things out, but like the whole defer, add defer, the way that you like the whole error handling are all things that I kind of like. The pointer system is simpler than C++ in my opinion, but that's also probably because I just never like took enough time to properly like use them in my own codes. Oh well. Anyway, a quick thank you to all my co-supporters. Thank you very much for supporting me. And also, a quick note again, GD Gozen next version is coming out this week. Gozen is getting its next alpha release this week, and my voice feels like it's kind of going away now. But yeah, anyway, thank you very much for watching the stream so far. Like, I think we had a good amount of people watching on both platforms. But yeah, it's getting late. My kids will probably wake up soon, so yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. There will be more videos coming out soon, which are not about Zik. Like, I think I will only keep Zik to live streams for now, and my videos will mainly be Godot focused, because I don't think people will like it a lot if I start uploading Zik videos. But yeah, anyway, this is just a quick test. I just want to learn the language, see how it is, and if I will continue using it or not, let's see that at the end of this month. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye bye.